Welcome to the Fully Surrendered podcast. I'm your host, Sheena. I'm a certified personal trainer and the CEO of Bodied by Sheena. Here, we'll talk about faith, we'll talk about fitness and resilience, and how building both physical and mental strength can help you to overcome life's toughest challenges. I'll be sharing my lived experiences, my struggles, and my victories, and how surrendering to faith has guided me every step of the way. My hope is to inspire you to trust the process, embrace growth, and to fully surrender to God's plan for your life. Now let's get to it.
This is the podcast. We're back.
We're back again. And today, the topic of discussion is being set apart, what it means to be set apart. And here we go.
Okay, yeah.
So, wait, it's me, Sheena, again here with Miguel. So, we had to introduce ourselves.
Okay. Well, introduce ourselves. Well, we introduced ourselves in the last one.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We don't have to do all that again. But the topic today is being set apart and what that means and what that looks like for you. And we'll go from there.
Okay, being set apart. So what does that really mean? Let's define that, right? Being set apart means oftentimes maybe when you were growing up, right? That you just realized that you did things a little differently. I know we talked about this a little bit before. But for me, what that meant was not subscribing to a lot of the shit that I've seen, in my family. Like, there's a lot of, at a young age, like smoking and things like that, drinking, trying to be cool, basically, right? And then I just realized this isn't really the conduit for getting what I want out of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a question before you proceed.
Yeah.
And I hate to interrupt you, but I think it's necessary. Because the term set apart is like, I learned this recently. Like, I didn't grow up thinking I'm set apart from everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, or identify as that, or that's the language for what I feel inside. But before, like, even knowing like what that means, because like today here as adults, we can sit here and then we know what that means, and we can say, yeah, we identify with that, or that was our life when we look back. But growing up, feeling not like you fit in, what were you telling yourself? Like, what do you feel? You know what I mean?
What was I telling myself?
Yeah, what was that feeling? What was the language for that feeling as a child and adolescent and teen and stuff?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we have to a little bit like go back, because I'm happy I found the language now today, and that's why like that's the theme of a conversation. But we didn't have that word before. I didn't.
No, I didn't either.
Right? Okay.
Exactly.
So what was it?
Yeah.
What was that for you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. It's like it's being a little weird, to be honest. Or from my perspective, I'm just doing what I want to do. I know I've said that before, doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
But, wow, what does that feel like? It feels like when, people as close as your mom and stuff saying that you should be doing something else, right? It feels like you're doing something wrong. In a nutshell, which it puts you in a place where there's like this confusion, I can say. At least back then, it's confusing.
What part was confusing?
Well, for example, going back to my father, right? Like, my father is like riding around in Cadillacs, and he's like, your daddy's a player boy. And I'm like, okay, that's a little weird.
He told you that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm like maybe 7. I'm like,
okay.
I'm smart. I'm like, that seems a little weird. So what does that mean? What does that mean about my mama? And what's my mama, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, being young and watching him like roll down the street with somebody else in the car. It's not my mama. And then he sees me. He just goes like this and just keep riding like he didn't see anybody. Yeah. And my other 2 sisters saw him too. It's like, well, that's just one of the probably a few examples I can say of like, well, something's not right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't
feeling
necessarily.
like this, they're acting like this is normal, but you feel inside this is not. Something's off.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's something that's normalized, you know. You know, and that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. So
That
you're
makes sense.
saying before we had the words or set apart understanding of what it
Right,
is. Like
exactly.
it was like this weird feeling.
Yeah, it was just a weird feeling.
Feeling
Yeah.
different. I always felt different. I always felt like I didn't fit in.
Yeah, confused.
Yeah, I was like, inside, I always felt like I don't belong here. I don't belong there. I don't know where. You know, I didn't find a lane or a space or a group or whatever that I felt like
Right.
this is where I belong. It's just nothing ever seemed right kind of thing. But yeah, I would just say I'm different. Like it went from like, I even used to think I was adopted. So weird. When I was little, yeah. When I was a little kid, like this had to be like elementary. I used to think like, damn, I don't remember the specifics on what, like, but I just always like wondered like, what? Like I feel like I think differently.
Right.
I think differently because I question things. I look at things differently.
Right.
And I would think because no one else is questioning the same things, like, I'm not supposed to be here, or this is not like, how did I end up in this space? I was gonna say
that
mess,
makes
mess, but like, where did that word come from? Like, how come I don't feel like understood or like, I wouldn't say understood because I didn't verbalize anything. It was all internal. You know, like all those feelings of not fitting in and weird and different and looking at shit sideways was like internal. But I didn't feel like anyone else was thinking or feeling the same thing.
Right, exactly.
So it was like, what the fuck? You know? But we proceed and we get older and move to middle and high school. And I'm just like, I just don't fit in. You know, like it's going from feeling different to like, I just don't fit in. To even as an adult, just being like, except by then, I don't know what it is, but I just, I don't know. I'm just me. Right?
Exactly.
And then through learning and getting more into the word and like reading and just listening to sermons, I come across like, I don't remember the specific sermon, but being set apart. Oh my gosh, now it makes sense. This is all intentional. It made sense for once. And then I just was like, I was just so happy to find that and discover that because now I understand who I am in the world more so, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But you think about it, like people that didn't fit in, right? Did Moses fit in? No. They're like, what are you doing? Little Hebrew boy that was raised by Egyptians or whatever. You know, killed the slave master. You definitely don't fit in. I mean, he did that. He killed, you know what I'm talking about? He killed the slave master who was like whipping the Hebrews. Then he went back to the Hebrews and they're like, nah, bro, that's not cool. Like, you shouldn't have did that. And now he can't fit in with the people who raised him, you know, the Egyptians. So now he's on the run.
Not he's a slave and dragon.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Sort of say, yeah.
Yeah, so imagine that. Like, you're literally, because you don't fit in, you know, your life is in danger. All you can do is make a run for it. And then so it'll be like that. Like, a parallel to that is like not fitting in when I'm younger. And then having to essentially not really physically make a run for it, but like having to come back and help my people, right? The people who rejected me in the first place. Because, I mean, like he came back to lead them through the wilderness, right? Even though they rejected him to begin with. So it's just, you know, all you really had to do is to keep moving forward when I was younger. So I really did.
Yeah.
And what were some of your other questions?
Let me see. So, how do you like now, because I know that we have similar experiences and stuff, like the way we view the world, how do you now like stay in community so you do feel like there, you know what I mean? Like, even though you're your own person and you have your own identity, you have your own vision and like everything, like how do you stay in community to stay grounded and keep that what God gave you, you know what I mean? Like inside holds true to that, even though you don't feel comfortable in every place and every space or even at every table, by knowing that even though I'm uncomfortable here or there, like I'm this way for a reason.
Right.
So like, how do you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean.
Surround yourself with places that you can fill your cup, or you can feel secure in who you are, and stay true to,
Right.
who you were created to be.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
No,
But are you following me?
yeah, I get it. I'm following.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you navigate that? Because every day is not the same, and sometimes we have good days and sometimes we don't.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes those bad days or moments can feel more than the good. They can outweigh them at times, but how do you just be like, no, I'm gonna stay the course?
Right.
How do you do that?
Exactly. So, a couple of things, right? You mentioned community,
Yeah.
right? And staying the course. And how do you handle the bad days? So, I would say they all work together. Excuse me. So, what I do for community, I just go outside and I find people in spaces. We're fortunate to, like, you and I even met at the Jacob Center.
Yeah.
Relying on people who think in similar ways. Like a couple of people I've met there, just in general, like going to like Black spaces.
Yeah.
Typically, they're like founders and things like that. But like just being honest about where I am, I think has helped me, like how I feel.
Yeah.
And just for me, it's been giving. Giving my energy up. to people.
Giving.
Yeah, it's
Wow. Yeah.
it's made me feel better. But in terms of like being accepted, right? I just had to learn, had to teach myself, train myself every day and wake up and be like, it doesn't matter if people don't think I belong here. Like I'm going to belong here.
Yeah. Take up
Whether-
space.
Yeah, whether I belong or not.
Yeah.
Take up space.
Yes.
Like the whole,
Yeah.
if you just want to have one piece of the pie, I'll take the whole pie. You know what I'm saying? And that's the perspective I have to look at it. Because honestly, right? Sometimes people don't want people that look like me and talk like me and walk like me, and kick their ass like I do. They don't want me
They
to
don't.
be there.
They're uncomfortable.
And so I had to get comfortable in that space. And, it might make other people uncomfortable, but I might be a threat to them, but that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to be in that space with regard to that. So in a nutshell, did I answer all your questions? So in terms
Yeah, you did. I know it was like a lot. It was complex, but you
No,
did
it's cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking to the Jacob Center, I'm like you, where I'm a sponge. So like wherever I can learn, or wherever I think, oh, this person or these people are interested in the things that I am, even though no one when I grew up was. Now that I'm like able to navigate this world and this life, like as an adult and on my own, I like draw to those spaces because like community is essential, right? Like we need it. And I found myself at the Jacob Center. Honestly, I did not expect it to be what it's been. We're only halfway through our program, and I did not expect it to be this. I just thought, like, I don't know. I didn't necessarily have an expectation, but I'm just like, I'm just gonna give it a try. Like, oh, it's all about business. I'm gonna learn. I don't know anything about business. There's a huge career transition, a huge pivot. I can't believe I'm even walking in, even at the beginning of these stages, but it was like last class, I think, or maybe the one before that I just like, I was so full of gratitude for that space because I was just like, this is so fucking dope. Like, this is so cool to be sitting here with like all these other people who are visionaries like myself, or who had an idea and they decided to give it a try, like take a risk or just try. Like, that's always been who I am inside. Like, I've never been afraid to take a risk, and it's never like stirred me the wrong way, I've only learned from them all. So to be surrounded with other people who aren't scared like me, that's so cool. I mean, it's scary, like navigating it, but who weren't afraid to take that leap, to initiate the vision or the idea that they had. Like, I think that's so cool. So I'm like, oh man, like I even still uncomfortable saying like I have a business, or like the title of entrepreneur and all that. Like, it's not, I don't really resonate with that per se, but I'm working on that part. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother show. Imposter syndrome is a whole nother thing. But I'm just like, I was just so grateful for the Jacob Center because I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is bigger than what I thought it would be. And we're only halfway through our program. And look, I have a new friend. Look.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, so, that's been cool. Like, community is like, what? Like, I value it so much, you know? And, I think it's been pretty good. And I know that, like, even though I feel like I'm doing things like later, quote unquote, later in life, I that's just noise. You know what I mean? Like, that's just noise. I understand, truly understand inside that I'm right where I'm supposed to be at this season in life, at this age, at this time of this year. I'm where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I just know that he's in control, and I know that even in the hardest days, even like this morning, you know, struggle day, I just know that I have to trust him because he's never failed me, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, with that being said, because I know that you're a man of faith.
Of course.
And like, your faith is the foundation of, you know, like, everything, right? And I just, I want to know, like, because I just love speaking to people who speak the same language as me. How do you know he's real?
Oh, yeah. How do I know he's real?
How do you know?
How do I know? That's a funny thing. Oh, we haven't talked about this.
We have not. We have not. And I want to know because people, like, are just so, like, weird with the comments, your religious comments. And I'm like, I'm not, like, what? We're religious. Like, no, I know that Jesus Christ is real. And it's not something someone just told me. It's something I know and that I've experienced. And so I don't know what else to tell you other than he's real.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you know?
Okay, yeah. I had to prove it to myself. I remember I was reading the Bible when I was younger. And I was like, came across what I have on my chest, Matthew 17:20. And I was like, you know, having a scientific mind. And I was like, let me put this to the test. And then
scientific mind.
You know,
that's
like
cool.
You know,
I never heard of that.
Having to test things out. You know?
I like that.
You know, like if it's truly going to be proven to be true, then I can follow this. You know, if I have just the mustard seed of faith, then I can tell a mountain to move from here to there, and it'll move. And every mountain that I've tried to move has moved. You know, when I've told it to, against, you know, other people's wishes, against other people's vibes, their lack of faith. You know what I'm saying? I remember to the point I realized it was so strong. Like when I first graduated my vocational training, but anyways, 875 pure hours, right, of training. But anyways, I graduated. All the people are saying, like, you're not going to get out of here and get a tech job because, like, you know, this cert isn't really worth anything, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my
you know,
gosh.
it's weird. You get in the class, and there's this dude who's like, oh, I'm from the tech field.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't going to be worth crap, you know? Right? So I'm like, I know what my faith told me, and I was like, shit, I was like talking to God. And someone told me, like, you're going to have a job in 3 months, and I had the job in 3 months. And that's when I started working at Spaywar.
Okay.
And then all these things transpire, and yeah, I've just proven it to be true. There's nothing that anybody can do to try to convince me otherwise at this point, because it's real, and that's how I knew. That's how you knew. Yeah, it was that one sentence. You know, if you have the mustard seed, we'll move from here to there.
Faith of a mustard seed. It's true.
But going back to your other question, though, well, what happens when you're first discovering this, right? We can sometimes torture ourselves because it doesn't come to fruition either immediately, or, you know, maybe someone's made some mistakes or something. And then it just we tend to kind of torture ourselves, right? And that's even in the Bible. There's countless times of people torturing ourselves, but then God comes out of the clouds or whatever with his booming voice, and he's like, haven't I continuously saved you? Haven't I done X, Y, and Z? And he's giving examples. Okay, I guided you through the wilderness, you know, like I was reading today. You guys, I told you not to screw around with these pagan people, and you you did everything I told you not to do, you know, as children do, because we're God's children. And he's like, okay, now I have to punish you, right? But it's like just staying the course and just reminding myself then it's going to be okay. I mean, countless examples of people who who veered off the course and then just keep going that way. And God's like, oh, this way. And they're like, oh, nah, I think I'm cool. I think
When you
I'll
say
go in the other direction.
torture ourselves, expand.
Oh, torture ourselves. Like, for example, like negative thoughts, like I can't do this.
Oh yeah, the self-doubt and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't belong to be here. Like you know, what you would
Imposter.
describe. Yeah,
We do. Oh gosh.
yeah.
It's bad. And then you're saying, yeah, we do that. We do that. We do that like not even knowing what we're doing. You know, that's why we have to be mindful of what we're thinking, even what we're speaking, what we're saying, what we're taking in, you know? And two, like even during those times, like you're saying, stay the course, but how do you know to stay the course? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there's always been that little thing inside that's like, no.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like,
Yeah.
because it can be scary.
Mm-hmm.
When you're stepping out into the unknown, you don't necessarily know what to do. Especially, maybe having mentors or something. Maybe not having mentors or just getting started in anything. It can be nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is like this. You know, you have a little child and you're teaching them how to walk, you know, and then that little baby, the only thing that they know is crawling across the floor, right? But eventually they start standing up, pulling themselves up from the table, and maybe they fall down, right? But you know, because you're the parent, you know, just like God's the parent, right? But you know that this child one day is going to walk because you keep on lifting them back up, even though they might fall and hit their head, right? Or something and start crying. You'll be like, oh, it's all right, baby, right? But all that they know is they're trying to just walk, right? They're just doing the best that they can. All they really have is it's like faith. You just keep falling and get back up. And it's like this. Is that baby going to be crawling until they're 25? Okay.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. So you got to have the faith that you might fall again. You might be 25 years old and trip over a rock and fall. But doesn't mean you don't get back up.
Your girl is taking some falls.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? You have the faith that you can get back up. And that's been key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's good. That's like, I don't know, everyone's walk is different.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this all like tie in that, you know, it makes sense, make it all make sense. But I just remember, like, you know, when like times are hard and I just be like, dude, is this even worth it? Like, why do I even want to do all this? Like, why, like, who put this in? You know what I mean? Like, why is it there? Like, why, my sister doesn't have this. Why? And neither one of them do. You know what I mean? Like, I just remember, like, I remember the vision I had when I saw Jesus, and I thought I was dreaming, but it wasn't a dream. I saw him, and it was literally the same thing in the Bible. And I don't have the scripture. And the only reason I even know it was in the Bible, fast forward, I'm gonna go back, but fast forward is because, like, one random night, like, at my old apartment, when my daughter is so special. Like, he's always been talking to me through her, like, since she was born. And on one particular occasion, I'm like reading my Bible on the bed. I'm like, well, Mariah, like, I don't know what I should read yet. I just had my Bible laying in bed. I always had her like a children's Bible too. So I'm like, Mariah, pick a page. You scroll through, pick a page. Okay, pick a page. And then she like closes her eyes and then she goes like her finger. I'm like, all right, I'll read this. What I read blew my mind. And again, I should know the exact scripture to chapter. I don't. I'm still learning how to navigate the Bible. But it was the vision of Jesus and extending his hand and the bright light. Do you remember that? Do you know where that exactly that is? I'm going to have to go back and find it now because I should have it. But that's what happened to me. I don't remember what I was going through at that point in my life, because I even posted on Facebook. So, like, you know, every year, like, Facebook reminds you of stuff. I remember, like, and I had to post it because I'm like, you guys, he is real. Like, I don't know. I'm just telling you. I don't remember what I was going through, and I thought I was dreaming, but I wasn't dreaming. It was such a huge, like, force that I felt to, like, open my eyes, and I just felt, like, not scared, but, like, I was trying to closed my eyes. I was laying in bed. This is way before like my daughter finding that scripture. That scripture was the exact vision that I experienced. Just confirmed it all for me that I wasn't crazy. I didn't think I was crazy. I was at peace about what I experienced. But anyways, it was a vision, and I'll have to find it and share it with you. But I was just trying to close, and I was trying to like, oh my God, something's here, you know, like, and it was so bright, and like my eyes were forced open, and I could just see this bright, like glow, and that hand like that. And you see it all the time. It's real. I mean, it's not made up. It's because it's happened. Right. Like it happened to me. Like, and that's what I hold on to. Like, I know he's like, do you trust me? He said, do you trust me? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And that's how I know that Jesus is real, because I saw him and he asked me. So that's what, in the darkest of the darkest times, the worst times, like the pit of whatever, like, no, I know what happened. I know what I saw. I know what I felt, you know, like the peace and everything. And then fast forward, my daughter finds that and I'm like, whoa, wait. I flipped. I was like, oh my God. And she doesn't know. Like, this girl has been doing these things since she was little. And I'm like, oh man. And I like read it again and again. I have it somewhere in here, but I'm like, that happened to me. So that's how I know that he's real, and he said to trust him. And so that's what I do.
Yeah.
And he's never failed me.
Good. That's a big point, right?
Yeah, Trust. That happens.
Trust.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, and I just go whatever, you know, like, but I know. There's nothing you could do to resist it. In the presence, there's nothing you can do, really. It's just like, it's a force, and it's like, whoa. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Fully Surrendered. I truly hope that you found encouragement and strength in today's conversation. Remember, no matter what you're going through or what you're facing right now, that this is temporary and this too shall pass. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe or share with a friend or leave me a review. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Bodied by Sheena and at Fully Surrendered Pod. Until next time, thank you.